I'm Aiden, and this is Zach. I won this cool trophy today.
Heck yeah.
So, at Brisbane GG Spring Hill, we had an 8-week series, was it?
Yeah, 8 weeks.
8-week series where you had to collect points of locals, and then the top 16 were invited to the Invitational, where we played 5 rounds of Swiss with the top 4. And the last round was open deck lists with best of 5, which was pretty intense. And the winner got a trophy, and I got a box as well. So
nice. It's pretty sick. What did you win with?
So, Zach and I, we came up with what we've decided is our new baby. A deck where we play Victini with Rapid Strike Urshifu Boi.
Oh, fancy.
Which is an interesting, I think, little concoction.
Why'd you end up picking that?
Because I really like Welder. It's a cool card. I like accelerating energy and I like killing my opponent. Victini's really good at killing your opponent, but you don't have to play Welder every turn, and that's the problem with Welder decks. With the Urshifu, if you weld it to him, then you can attach the rapid energy, and then you can rapid flow more than once in a row, which is terrifying. And spreading flames is also really cool. And basically, it allows for a very complicated kind of little. I can adapt to lots of different situations.
It also fixes the damage issues with Urshifu, because just rapid flowing and gale thrust, you don't get enough damage to two-shot quick easily. The 220 from the Victini kind of fixes that issue.
Yeah, you can 220 a VMAX, and then you can boss out a Dedenne, and then you can clean up the VMAX and a Dedenne for 5 prizes with a rapid flow, which is pretty insane.
Yeah, 5 prize, 6 prize turns are really fun.
It's really cool. Because a lot of the time the VMAX decks, they'll retreat away from the Victini, and you'll smack that one, and they're like, yep. And then you rapid flow 2 VMAXs, and they die. So that's pretty neat. So we played 3 VMAX, 3V, only 2 Rapid Boi 2-2 lines, because we just wanted to see this more, because it was the main bulk of the deck, but he was a nice little option. It also bolstered the E-turn matchup, which is quite fun. So, yeah. So they were our main attackers, but what I love about this deck is we also had a cool bunch of techs.
Okay, hit me.
Because of the techs, we had to play lots of consistency. So we played 1 Crobat and 3 Dede, which I know is stressful because a lot of people play at 2-2, but Dede is more important because it discards and resets the hand, which is really helpful. So to counter that, we played Marshadow because he gets rid of the swells and crap to make sure that we don't have a power plant in the way.
Make sure we always have Hearth in play as well.
And Hearth is insane, so we wanted to have Hearth in play all the times. So as for the tech cards, and I also played a Phoebe, which is relevant for the tech stuff. Elder Goss is very good because it can get back to Phoebe in like Decidueye Luke Metal matchups, so that was cool. But also getting more boss is good.
Especially in the Victini part of it, because it just one-shots all the basic Vs.
Yeah, I beat ADP I just ignored the ADP and I killed their Zacians by just bossing around the ADP, and I did it quicker than they could AC boss, so that's pretty neat. Marshadow was actually just insane. He gets rid of Swell, gets rid of Power Plant if I don't have Hearth to bump it, but also, cute little thing that he does in the mirror is halfway through the mirror, when you're using Hearth and they're using Hearth, and you're like, far out, if they have Welder, I lose, you can use Marshadow to remove the Hearth, because every time I verse the mirror, you pitch Hearth with Hearth, because you're like, nobody's going to replace the Hearth, and so then they lose. So that's pretty neat. And then Reshizard and Heatran are really important for the decks that play GXs. That's another reason why the Urshifu is helpful, because he can hit GXs and tag teams a bit. But these guys do it better. And then Mewtwo can be one or both of them, which is also pretty neat. And we thought it would be very cool to be able to hit the Urshifu decks for Psychic Weakness.
And Mewtwo itself.
And Mewtwo itself, because we play Welder and the Galaxy Brain deck got popular recently. As long as Reshizard can get a kill on a Mewtwo, then the next turn I can bench a Mewtwo, Welder to it, kill it. It's not a super consistent game plan, but at least we have it. So that's neat. And then Volcanion, we just played 1 because we want to choose first, despite the fact that we're a Welder deck, because Victini Attach Pass is a perfectly good opening turn against most decks. So that's neat. But when we do go second, we can quick bowl or whatever for Volcanion, and that's pretty neat. Although most of the time we go for the kill on the opener with the Reshizard instead, which is very powerful. It's how you need to beat ADP. To beat ADP, there's 3 options. You OHKO the ADP, which this man can do if you get 6 energy on the board, and by extension this can. And then the second one is you hit it for at least 150, and then the next turn you can kill it if you can hit it for 150 again. So that works. And the third game plan is to boss around it. So this man helps with the second game plan there.
Nice.
And then Phoebe and Volcanion plus this man with 6 energy are how we beat Decidueye. It's not like super easy, but at least we have the option there. So that's pretty cool.
Makes sense.
You also just kill the Rowlets before they evolve.
Yeah, you can also kill the Rowlets before they evolve if they don't have bench barrier, so that's real neat. Again, this man just comes in at really weird spots, and it's very cool.
Yeah.
People are like, you can't win next turn, and then you like rapid flow for like 8 prizes. I know it's not 8, but still. Yeah, it's pretty
All
neat.
the prizes.
For supporters, we did play 4 Welder, because like, you don't have to Welder every turn, but playing Welder still is very good. Even if it's Welder for 1 in this deck, a lot of the time it feels great. In the final match, my opponent was like, my ADP opponent, I welded for 1 onto the Rapid Strike Urshifu, and he's like, oh, that makes me feel good. And then I attached Rapid Energy, and then I Furious Blows, and then he was like, uh-oh. So, it's pretty cool. For boss, because boss is really good in this deck. Again, the Victini side, but also the any of the other bits like to hit what we want to choose to hit, so that's nice. And then for a bit of consistency, we played the 2 research, and obviously we had the Phoebe as well as a supporter.
We debated putting 2 gear instead of the research spot, but we just found that there were very few times you wanted just to research, and gear didn't always hit what you need.
Yeah, basically in testing when we tried that, gear could be a welder and then everything's great, but if it's not a welder, then we were like, why isn't this a research? So, yeah.
And obviously you got to play the best welder, right?
Yeah, I would definitely have to play the best one. That's why you didn't win.
One of my red ones.
So I owned 3 of these and he owned 1, so obviously I played the good one and he played the bad. I am new to this game, but I'm pretty sure you should always play 4 Switch. Same with Quick Ball and Pokemon Communication.
I wanted more switching cards in there, but we did not have the room.
Don't have the room, and to be honest, you don't need them because the amount of energy you can get on the board. I just was able to manually retreat like almost every time I needed to.
Like 1 air balloon would have been nice.
It would have been nice, but
we don't have the room.
Didn't have the room, and like I had Switch almost every time I needed it, so it's fine.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, well. Giant Hearth is cool because we play energy and welder, and they're fire energies and they are welders, so that's neat. The Cherish Ball was a fire crystal for the longest time, but turns out you don't need it.
Why don't you need it?
Well, basically, if you draw the crystal in the late game, then you have to work less hard to win. But if you draw it at any other point, it doesn't help. And if it's not there at all, then you just don't waste your energy like an idiot.
You can easily play around just conserving your energy, slash with Spreading Flames basically is a crystal in an attack.
Spreading Flames is an insane attack. There have been many times where I'm like, I don't have game right now because I don't have the energy. But my opponent doesn't have game, so what if I stole a turn in Spreading Flames? And it's very powerful. Also against weird matchups, Spreading Flames helps you get like the 6 energy that you need for Reshizard's thing to kill the Decidueyes and stuff like that. So if you're playing around it and you're going into like a long grind game, as long as you keep 1 energy on a Victini, then you have energy to spare. So that's pretty neat. We played the 4, it's rapid, strike energy, because you just... If you see it, you attach it if you need it, and if you don't, then, well, you don't need it, I guess. And we played 9 fire to wrap it out. I have this weird one that got signed for Zach, and there's like 2 shiny ones, which is cool, I think. So, yeah. The thing with energy that I've learned is you keep testing, and the correct ratio of energy is the one that makes you feel like you're stressed all game that you don't have enough energy. But you don't run out and you don't lose because of it. And then you just win. And that's the right number of energy. So, yeah. And we played 4 Com just instead of the 3 because we had so many different Pokemon. You just were like, I need the right one at all times.
And we need consistency the whole way through.
Yeah. This deck would be awful if you didn't draw well, which is probably what happened to him. So he went like bomb,
bomb.
X3 bomb, and I only lost to the guy that
I ended 2-3.
He ended 2-3.
I ended 2-3.
I only lost in Swiss to the guy that I fought in the finals playing ADP. So
neat.
Yeah.
Any final words?
Shout out to Dan for playing Cramorant.
Woo!
He almost got into the top 4. He had to beat me though, so it wasn't his fault. Shout out to Hayden and Cookie and GG Store for running sick Pokemon events to make it a fun game to play. And shout out to the community as well. It's really booming here in Brisbane. It's a lot better than Yu-Gi-Oh! Woo!
Awesome. Thank you.